What if I told you that a family of four was trapped in the heart of the Los Angeles wildfire disaster, and instead of running away, a wild horse risked everything to help them escape? And what if one day you woke up and the sky wasn't blue but a deep, fiery red? What would you do if the air smelled of smoke and the world around you felt like it was burning? The wildfire moved faster than anyone imagined, devouring trees and homes in its path. Helicopters flew overhead, dropping water on the raging flames, but it wasn't enough. Families packed what little they could and fled, their faces filled with fear. Wildlife scattered in all directions, deer, rabbits, and even birds, desperate to escape the choking smoke. But deep in the forest, one family couldn't escape. A father, mother, and their two young children were trapped, surrounded by fire, on all sides. The flames crept closer, and the smoke thickened, making it hard to breathe. The parents clung to each other, their hearts racing as they tried to shield their kids. The father whispered, "We'll find a way out." But with every second, the fire grew stronger, and their hope began to fade. What could they possibly do now? The family had planned a peaceful weekend in the woods, just a simple camping trip to escape the noise of the city. But what started as a calm evening under the stars turned into a nightmare they couldn't have imagined. The wildfire moved. So fast it seemed like the flames came out of nowhere, closing in on them before they could react. The father tried to stay strong, gathering everyone near the tent as the fire surrounded them. The mother held the children close, their little faces streaked with tears. The smoke grew thicker, burning their eyes and throats, and the heat was unbearable. The father looked around desperately, searching for any way out, but every path was blocked by flames. His voice cracked as he said, "We'll be okay. I promise." But even he wasn't sure if they could survive this. The mother whispered, "What if no one finds us?" The kids clung to her tighter, their small voices trembling. Was this really the end for them? In the middle of the chaos, where the flames roared louder than the wind, a shadow moved silently through the forest. It was Robbin, a majestic wild horse with a sleek black coat and eyes full of fire and wisdom. Unlike the other animals fleeing for safety, Robbin didn't run. He stopped, ears twitching, his powerful legs planted firmly on the ground. Through the crackling of burning trees, Robbin heard something. Faint cries carried by the smoke. It wasn't the sound of animals. It was human voices, desperate and scared. His nostrils flared as he turned toward the noise, his sharp instincts sensing that lives were in danger. But what could a single horse do against such a monstrous fire? The heat licked at his coat, and the forest seemed like a maze of destruction. Yet Robbin didn't move away. Instead, he stood there, staring into the flames as if he was searching for a path. What was he waiting for? Robbin took a deep breath, his hooves striking the ground with determination. Against all odds, he charged into the fire, his mane flowing, as embers lit up the air around him. The crackling flames didn't stop him. The cries he had heard pushed him forward. Through the thick smoke, the family spotted him. At first, it felt like a dream, a horse, strong and fearless, appearing out of nowhere in the middle of the fire. The mother gasped, pulling her children closer. "Is it real?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The father's eyes narrowed, trying to make sense of the sight. "It's a wild horse," he said, "but it's coming straight for us." Robbin stopped a few feet away, pawing the ground as if urging them to follow him. The flames grew closer, the heat pressing against their skin. The parents exchanged a look. "Should we trust it?" the father asked. "Can it really get us out of here?" The mother glanced at their terrified children. "What other choice do we have?" she said, her voice breaking. Was this their miracle, or a risk too great to take? Robbin stood firm, his dark eyes fixed on the family as if he could understand their fear. He nudged the father gently, urging him to make a decision. The flames roared louder, inching closer with every passing second. The father hesitated, looking at Robbin's strong but lean frame. "Can a horse carry all four of us? What if we're too much for him?" he said, doubt creeping into his voice. Robbin let out a powerful snort, stomping the ground as if to say, "Trust me." The mother, holding the children tightly, pleaded, "We don't have time. We have to try." In a dramatic moment, the father lifted the children onto Robbin's broad back, then helped his wife climb up. Finally, he swung up behind them, his heart pounding with fear and hope. The family clung to Robbin as he started to move, his steps steady and determined. The fire closed in around them, the heat unbearable. But Robbin didn't falter. With every stride, it felt as though he knew exactly where to go. Could this fearless horse really lead them to safety? Robbin moved with precision, his hooves striking the scorched ground as he weaved through the burning forest. The flames danced dangerously close, and branches collapsed in fiery bursts around them. The family clung to him tightly, their eyes wide with terror. The roar of the fire was deafening, drowning out their panicked breaths. Heat pressed against their skin, and the acrid smoke burned their throats. Every second felt like an eternity, as Robbin dodged falling debris and leapt over smoldering logs. The father shouted over the chaos, "How does he know where to go?" The mother's voice trembled. "I don't know, but he's our only chance." Robbin's muscles rippled with every stride, his breathing steady even as the path seemed to grow more dangerous. The fire's glow lit up the dark sky, and the air felt heavier with each passing moment. "Can he keep going?" the father whispered, fear in his voice. Robbin's ears flicked back as if he understood. He pushed forward with renewed strength, determined to lead them out. But was there really an end to this path through the flames? A deafening crack echoed through the forest, and before they could react, a massive tree came crashing down in front of them, its branches engulfed in flames. The family screamed, their grip on Robbin tightening. For a moment, it seemed like there was no way forward. Robbin skidded to a halt, his hooves digging into the scorched earth. Smoke swirled around them, and the fire roared hungrily, closing in. From all sides. The father's heart raced. "This is it," he thought. "We're trapped." But Robbin didn't panic. He stood still, his ears flicking as he scanned the area. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, he veered to the left, leaping over a smaller burning log and squeezing through a narrow gap between the trees. The family held their breath, clinging to him as he landed safely on the other side. "How does he stay so calm?" the mother whispered, tears in her eyes. Robbin didn't pause or falter. It was as if he knew that every second counted. Could this incredible horse really lead them out of danger, even with the odds stacked against them? Through the haze of smoke and the relentless crackling of flames, Robbin's eyes fixed on something ahead. A faint clearing, the only open space left in the forest. His pace quickened, sensing the opportunity. But the flames, as if determined to stop them, surged forward, creeping closer with terrifying speed. The heat was unbearable now. The father's face was drenched in sweat, and the children clung to their mother, barely able to breathe through the thick, burning air. "We're so close," the mother gasped, her voice trembling. "But will we make it out?" Robbin pushed forward, his muscles straining with each step. The fire roared behind them, and the air grew hotter. The family could feel the heat on their backs, as if the flames were reaching out to pull them in. "Is it too late?" the father whispered, his voice full of dread. But Robbin didn't stop. He charged toward the clearing, his hooves pounding the ground as if he could outrun the very fire that threatened to consume them. The family held their breath. Would they escape the flames, or was it already too late? With one final burst of strength, Robbin charged through the wall of fire, his body blazing with the reflected heat. The flames hissed and crackled, but Robbin's. Powerful legs carried him forward, pushing through the smoke and chaos. The family could barely see through the thick air, their hearts pounding, but they trusted Robbin. He was their way out. As they emerged from the fire's grip, they found themselves on the edge of the forest, the flames still roaring behind them, but far enough now that they could breathe. The clearing was real. They were safe. The family collapsed into each other's arms, overwhelmed by the relief that washed over them. Just as they caught their breath, a rescue helicopter appeared overhead, swooping down to see them. Ground rescue teams rushed to the scene, their eyes wide with disbelief as they saw the wild horse standing strong beside the family he had saved. Tears filled the mother's eyes as she hugged Robbin's neck. "You saved us. You really saved us," she whispered through sobs. The father joined her, pulling their children close, his voice choked with emotion. "We'll never forget what you did for us." Robbin stood quietly, his head lowered, as if he knew the magnitude of what he had just done. The family had been through hell and back, but thanks to one incredible horse, they had made it out of the flames. The news spread quickly, from local news stations to social media. The family's incredible story was shared everywhere, how a wild horse had risked everything to save them from a devastating fire. Robbin's bravery captured the hearts of millions. Soon, the name Robbin became a symbol of hope, courage, and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. The family, now safe and grateful, shared their story with anyone who would listen. "We owe everything to him," the father said, his voice filled with awe. "He led us out when we had no hope left." But as the city celebrated Robbin's heroism, one question lingered in the air. How did Robbin know what to do? Was it pure instinct, or had there been something more guiding? His actions? People couldn't stop talking about the wild horse who seemed to understand the danger and the need for a daring rescue. Some wondered if there was a deeper connection between Robbin and the family. Could a horse truly possess this kind of awareness? Or was it something greater than just survival? Robbin became more than just a hero. He became a legend, a symbol of everything that could go right in the face of disaster, and a reminder that sometimes the most unlikely heroes come from the most unexpected places. The day after the fire, the family was finally reunited with their loved ones. Tears flowed freely as they embraced friends, neighbors, and relatives who had feared for their safety. The once terrified family now stood strong together, their bond even deeper after the horrors they had faced. The father looked around at the people who had come to offer their support, his heart full of gratitude. "Without Robbin," he said, quietly, his voice thick with emotion, "we wouldn't be here today. He gave us a chance when there was no hope left." Nearby, wildlife rescuers who had been working tirelessly to save animals affected by the fire gathered to thank Robbin. "He's a hero," one of the rescuers said, wiping away tears. "Not just for saving lives, but for showing us the courage and resilience we all need." Locals who had heard the story firsthand arrived, bringing flowers and cards. They too wanted to express their thanks to the horse who had become the symbol of hope for the entire community. Robbin stood calmly, his eyes steady, as he accepted the love and admiration of everyone around him. As the community gathered to celebrate survival, Robbin had unknowingly done more than just save a family. He had brought people together, reminded them of their strength, and reignited their belief in the kindness and courage that still exists in the world. As time passed, Robbin's story continued to inspire and resonate far beyond the boundaries of Los Angeles. His courage, strength, and unwavering determination had changed everything for one family and for an entire community. "Heroes come in all shapes and sizes," the father said, his voice filled with awe as he looked at Robbin. "Even a horse can inspire the world." Robbin's legacy lived on in the hearts of those who heard his story. He wasn't just a horse. He was a symbol of hope, a reminder that sometimes the greatest acts of bravery come from the most unexpected places. His name was spoken with reverence, and his tale of survival and compassion was passed down through generations. As you watch this story unfold, think about the courage it took to save a life, to put everything on the line for others. What would you do if you were in that family's shoes? One act of bravery can change everything. Robbin's bravery changed the lives of a family, a community, and the world. This fictional story is a powerful reminder to treat all living creatures with compassion, respect, and kindness. What can we learn from Robbin's example? The legacy of this wild horse will live on forever as a symbol of courage and hope, something we can all carry with us in our hearts. This story about Robbin, the heroic wild horse, teaches us an invaluable lesson. Animals, though often overlooked, can be our true heroes. When the family was trapped in a devastating wildfire, it was not a firefighter or a helicopter that reached them first. It was Robbin, a fearless horse, who risked everything to guide them to safety. Robbin's bravery reminds us that animals, driven by instincts we might never fully understand, can show immense courage and wisdom in moments of life or death. This story challenges us to rethink how we treat animals. Just like Robbin, they have their own strengths and abilities that can surprise us when we least expect it. They offer their love, loyalty, and even sacrifice without asking for anything in return. Robbin didn't just save a family. He became a symbol of hope, strength, and the extraordinary bond between humans and animals. We can all learn from Robbin's story. By respecting and caring for animals, we recognize their true worth beyond the roles they play in our lives. They are not just pets or creatures in the wild. They can be life-saving heroes, as brave and compassionate as any human. So, let's remember to treat them with the same respect and kindness that they so generously offer us. In the end, sometimes the real heroes come from the most unexpected places.